There you go.
Can you hear me now? Am I good, Dory? Okay, great. Okay, everybody. I have some helpers with me today.
Yay!
There you go. Okay, this is episode 2. This is episode 2. Put your keep on. Keep on.
I am the worst guy ever.
Okay. This is the worst guy ever. All right. Okay. We can all please quiet down
We
now.
are the worst guys.
You can please quiet down.
You the
Okay.
worst guy. You the worst guy.
Or you will have to leave. You're gonna have to leave.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for tuning in again. Again, we're here just so we can do some brief learning about Pesach that's coming up. And I want to thank everybody who's subscribed and is coming in to tune in again. I hope yesterday was good and that we can continue this as much as we can. So remember to subscribe, maybe tell some other people to subscribe and leave your comments and suggestions in the video. We're open to all feedback. We want to hear that from you guys. And we're going to try to do this every day live if we can. Obviously, there might be some times where we can't do that. But if we can't do that, then what we're going to do is I'll pre-record an episode and we'll post it at the same time so that you can watch it. You can watch it at the same time every day. And you can still leave your questions and your comments, your feedback, and we can still get back to you on that. Okay, let's get started. Let's get started. Let me ask this helper first. Let me ask this helper first to hold this, put this down. Hold this up. Hold this up. Okay. What is this? Does anybody know what this is?
Everybody knows what that is. Matzah.
Anybody know what this is?
Matzah.
Guys, well, we're asking those who are watching, what is this?
Matzah. Matzah.
We're not looking for what type it is. We're just looking in general what it is. You hold this up. Hold it right here. There we go. That way no one can see you. Okay? Perfect. Okay. Matzah, good. Excellent. Oh, someone said that's Ellie. Yeah, that's Ellie, and that's Matzah. Okay. And that's Ellie, and that's Matzah. Yeah. And that's Ellie and Matzah all together. Okay. Yes, this is Matzah. Thank you very much. Hold on to it. That is Matzah. That is Matzah.
We said it was Ellie.
This is Matzah. Does anybody know, not from my audience in the room here, but does anybody else know what does the Torah call
The ring pop.
the ring pops? What does the Torah call matzah? What's the name that it gives for it? It gives a name for it.
Matzah.
Gives a name for it.
Matzah. Matzah.
Another name outside of matzah. Just wait a second. See if anybody gets this.
Because no one is. Bravo,
What does the Torah call it?
I know the answer. Do you guys know the answer?
Excellent. Leah Gordon. Okay.
What?
The Gordons let us know that it is called Lechem Oni. That's right. Excellent. Lechem Oni. And what does Lechem Oni mean? What does Lechem Oni mean?
Our friend was watching it.
What does Lechem Oni mean?
No, David. Bye. Gordon,
Can we quiet down the gallery? What does Lechem Oni mean? Okay, we're going to ask from our in-studio audience here. Lechem Oni means?
Matzah.
No, that's another name for matzah. What does Lechem Oni mean?
Bread of poor people.
Yes, bread of poor people or very poor bread. Lechem Oni. Or as many of your Haggadahs in its English translation will say bread of my affliction. Okay? Bread of my affliction. But Lechem Oni, or poor person's bread, why do we call it that? What's the reason we call it that? Anybody know? Poor bread, yeah. Why do we call it poor bread? Lechem Oni. Let's see. Anybody out there can get this? Is it because is it because the matzah has no money? So it's a poor matzah? Poor bread? Getting some laughs there. Why is it called poor man's bread? Oh, we got from the Deutsches all the way in Israel.
Deutsches?
Yeah. Because it's so thin, it's like bread for the poor. That's very good. It's very, very thin. It's very, very, look, we can see.
I know.
If I turn it on its side, it's almost like it disappears. It's very, very poor quality. It's made from whatever you got lying around. It's very, very poor. But there's another, but you know, that other translation of it's Lechem Oni, or bread of affliction, reminds us that, or tells us that this was what the Jewish people ate in mitzrayim. But there's another type of, so there's two types of matzahs that the Torah tells us about. There's the poor man's bread, the one that was eaten when we were so poor and were such slaves, when we were being afflicted in Mitzrayim. And then there's the one that the Torah tells us about when we left Mitzrayim. So now let's take a moment for a story. All the makkos happened. Lots of makkos. People running around crazy in the streets. Egyptians chasing Jewish people out of Mitzrayim. They're like, get out of here. We don't want you here anymore. Please, just take our money, take our food, take it all. You can have my horse and my children, and you could just take them all. Okay, they're off from school until after the coronavirus. So please just take my children too and get out of here. And they said, no, we're not going to rush out tonight. Take our time. Still got to eat tomorrow. Still got to lean. Got a whole bunch of stuff to do. Kids have a lot of questions tonight. But at first thing in the morning, we're going to leave. And first thing in the morning, they rushed out so quickly. That they didn't have time for the bread to fully rise. They baked it so quickly that they didn't have time for it to rise. They're just running out of there. Okay? So, question is, which matzah is this? Is it the one from when we left and ran away? On the way out? Which is, I don't know, that's like a good thing. It was like good matzah, right? We're getting out. Or is it the matzah from when we were avadim, when we were slaves, and it was very, very poor matzah? Which is it? So the answer is, anybody? The answer is, in a minute, I need your help in a minute. The answer is that really it's both. And at the Seder, we're going to talk about both types of matzah. We're going to talk about, at the beginning of the Seder, we're going to talk about the type of matzah that we ate when we were avadim, when we were slaves, and we were very poor.
Hi, everybody.
And then we're going to talk about the type of matzah when we left. And it's going to be different each time. Let me give an example. Come here. Okay. I need you in a moment. Stand over here for a second. Okay, wait 1 second. Imagine, if you will. Let's talk about. Okay, 1 second. Let's talk about the two types of matzah. First matzah, the poor matzah, the really poor matzah. What do we mean when it's such poor matzah? What do we mean by that? Well, let's give an example. Imagine that somebody walks into your house. And he says, now you say, I would like something to eat.
I want something to eat.
Okay. So he wants something to eat.
I want something to eat.
He wants to have something to eat. And you say, well, you can't just come into my house and eat anything. You know what? Why don't I, you know what you can have? I have some of this old, thin bread. It's really, really cheap. I get it for basically nothing. You can have this bread.
Hey, eat that?
Now.
Oh, I'm eating it.
That's one type of food. Let's talk about another type of food. Okay. He says, stop. He says, after he puts on his kippah, he says, I don't want that old, thin, poor bread. I want this ring pop. Okay, or I want, now I need my helpers, bring up the other things you got. I want this package of oodles that looks like you got in a Shalach Manos. Or I want this Laffy Taffy stick. Or I want this fruit by the foot.
I love oodles.
Now.
I love ring pop.
Everyone go sit down. Thank you.
You needed me a few minutes. Come sit with me.
Now, what am I going to say to them? If it was you, what would you say to them? What would you say if somebody you didn't know came in and said, I want to have some of those treats. I want the gushers. Oh, not gushers. Gushers. I want the ring pop, or I want the Laffy Taffy, or the oodles. What would you say to them?
I want to eat it now. Can you just eat it?
What would you say to them?
No. Oh, it's this.
You'd say, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna give those to you. That's some of my favorite treats. No way. Yeah, no way. Leah Deutsch says, no way. That's my Laffy Taffy. I love the jokes. I'm not just gonna give them away like that. And the ring pop is my favorite accessory when I go to school and see my friends. So there's no way I'm gonna give that to you. But matzah is such a cheap food that if somebody came into your house and said, "Do you have anything you can give me?" You just give it away. You just give it away.
Noodles are for free.
And that's the type of food that we had in mitzrayim. It was just the only thing around. That's all that you had. So I want to give one more idea about the matzah, about this type of matzah. Okay? One more thing. Let's get some suggestions. I want people to give me suggestions of famous people they know or people that they really love or adore. Not just like family. Let's say you really loved some I don't know. Yeah, 1 second. We have
Goosebumps.
Okay, let's say you have a show or a comic book or some cartoon, or it could be somebody from Tanakh, right? Or a famous Rebbe, or a Rishon, or anybody. Let's say, oh man, I got a good idea. Okay, I got a good idea. I want to hear your suggestions of some famous people that you find to be famous. Let's get some suggestions.
This is good.
Let's get some suggestions. Someone says Rabbi Nachman. Okay. Someone said me. Okay. Let's get some other suggestions.
Who's that? Benjamin Rubble. Hi, Tilly.
Let's say you get some. So somebody you find that you really love, it's really famous to you. You'd love to meet that person. Let's get some suggestions. Anybody, some suggestions?
Oh yeah, cool.
Cool.
Oh yeah, I know who says hi to you. What's his name? Oh yeah.
Go sit down.
Where is it? Who's the high Tilly?
Okay, let me give a suggestion. Who knows who Rashi was?
Me. Rashi was the man. Rashi's the man.
Okay, if you ask,
Rashi's the man.
one second, come here. If you ask my kids, okay, you say who is Rashi?
The man.
The man. Rashi's the man. Yes, Rashi's the man because without Rashi, we would not be able to really know so much about Torah.
No.
Okay? Okay. So imagine if you're walking along the road one day. Go have a seat. Imagine you're walking along the road one day and you come across somebody who was digging a hole.
They had oodles.
And you look down into the hole and you happen to be in France, where Rashi was from, and you find in the hole, and the hole is being dug right outside of Rashi's house. And you find right down at the bottom of the hole is something sticking out of the ground. So you bend down, you pick it up, and you pull out an old toothbrush.
Yummy.
Like a really old toothbrush.
Yummy.
It's pretty disgusting, but it's a very old toothbrush. And on the back of the toothbrush, it says Rashi. This was Rashi's toothbrush.
Abba's my friend and his name's Rashi.
Now, okay, we got a comment here. Someone said, ew, but then they also said, cool. Now, here's the question. Oh, put it in a museum. Now, here's the question. Why is it so cool? What's so cool about it? What's cool about a century-old toothbrush?
Yeah.
What is so good about, what is so cool, what is so awesome about this toothbrush? 1 second. History. Okay. Someone said history. Okay, well, is it just as cool as anything else? Is it just as cool as anything else? I got a historical object or an antique. Is it just as cool as anything else? Or is there something really special about it, more than just some old toothbrush? There's something even more special about it. Okay, we're going to ask Ahuva in the studio audience. Yes, what is so amazing about it?
It's Rashi's tooth.
Oh, because it's Rashi's toothbrush. And Rashi is the?
Man.
Okay. And Rashi's the man. Yes. Rashi's the man. So that's what's so amazing about it, is that it's not just any toothbrush. It's Rashi's toothbrush, and Rashi means so much to you. So to be able to hold Rashi's toothbrush, we'll just imagine this is Rashi's toothbrush. It has some jokes on the back. But imagine to hold Rashi's toothbrush. That's so cool because Rashi means so much to us. And somebody who means so much to us, to be able to hold something that they used that has so much meaning to us. It's so special to us. That's a really amazing thing. So here's another way we can look at matzah. When we sit at the Seder and we start Magid. The first thing we do is, what do we say? We talk about Lechem Oni. This is the poor man's bread. But it's also the bread of our affliction. This is the matzah that the Jewish people, that our great Rabbi and Zadis, this is what they ate. This, you can look at it, you can hold it. This is what they ate in Mitzrayim. It's like picking up something that someone you loved so long ago had themselves. This is it. You can hold it. You can taste it. You can smell it. You know exactly what they had. So at the beginning of the Haggadah, when we first start the Seder, in our way of going from, like we talked about yesterday, from going from a feeling of being a nobody, like nobody cares about you. This is what somebody who nobody cares about you eats. And when you eat it, you can feel like that. It helps us to feel like that. It helps us to feel like we're actually there. You're actually holding the thing that we had when we were in Mitzrayim. The second type of matzah is the one we talked about where we left in such a rush. We were taken out so quickly that this is what we ended up with. And so at the end of the night, when we eat our afikomen and we're eating our matzah, the matzah that shows us how much Hashem loves us and how much Hashem cares about us, because he took us out so quickly because he just wanted us to get out of there. This is the one that we had. And so when we eat this, we eat the one that we realize makes us so special. This is who we are. Okay. That concludes part 1 of the video. And now for part 2, like we talked about yesterday. See, we're gonna ask some questions. Part 2, we're going to talk about halachos of Pesach. Okay, yesterday we talked about Chametz and not Chametz. And Chametz was what? What was Chametz? Anybody in the audience here? Chametz? Yeah.
Chametz is bread that's cooked over 18 minutes.
Good. So flour and water plus 18 minutes. More than 18 minutes. And that is chametz. And like we said yesterday, chametz, no good. No good in the home. No good in your house. No good in your house. Okay. So you want to get it out. Now, when do we need to get chametz out of our house? How quickly? I'm sure some of you have already started Pesach cleaning since last Pesach. And we're getting all that chametz. Yeah, after Pesach is over, you start your chametz. You start destroying chametz already for the next year because that first pizza gets into your house, like right after Pesach's over, everybody runs outside and they got to get pizza as soon as possible. So that first pizza comes in, you start to get rid of the chametz right away, right? You start stuffing pizza in your face and you get rid of that chametz right away. Anyway, so you get rid of the chametz. What day do we need to have all the chametz out of our house? Who knows? Who knows?
I'm raising my hand.
Yes, who knows? When do we need to have chametz out of our house?
Before Pesach.
Before Pesach night. Okay. So does that mean as soon as Pesach night starts, then I get rid of it all?
No.
Erev Pesach. Okay. Erev Pesach. When Erev Pesach?
Before Erev Pesach.
Before Erev Pesach. Before Erev Pesach.
The morning of Erev Pesach.
The morning of Erev Pesach.
The night of Erev Pesach.
Well, let's give a hint. There's something that we do the night before Pesach. And what's it called? Something we do. You get a candle. You light the candle with adult supervision.
And you have to have a flat.
If you don't have a candle, or it's not safe to use a candle, you can use a flashlight. Oh, you need a feather? That feather is very important.
And a spoon.
Very important. So make sure you get your feathers. We don't run out of feathers. Feathers are very important. Yes. What do we do? Yes. We do something called bedikas chametz. We look around our house, in every corner, under every couch, every possible way. Yes,
I
the races are telling us, I believe in Cleveland. Bedikas Chametz. We do Bedikas Chametz. Wrong race. Oh, the other race in Toronto. Bedikas Chametz. Excellent.
Oh.
And you got to get it out. Now, what day is that in? That day is the day before. That is the night of Erev Pesach. That's right. So we need to get rid of all our chametz by Erev Pesach already. That would be what day of Nisan would that be? What day of Nisan is Erev Pesach? Okay, from our studio audience, what day is Erev Pesach? What day of Nisan is Erev Pesach? What day of the month? What day of the month? No.
I'm raising down.
Not the first. The 15th. Not the 15th.
16th. 17th. 14th. 16th.
The 14th. That's right. The 14th is Erev Pesach because the 15th is Pesach. So the Torah tells us that all 7 days of Pesach, you can't have chametz in your house.
Oh, 8 days.
So if you waited till the first day of Pesach to get rid of it, then you would be having chametz on your house during Pesach. So we can't wait. We can, then we'd be like, oh no, chametz in the house. So you got to get rid of all that chametz before the 15th, and that's going to be the 14th. Now, the 14th starts at night. At night, right? The Jewish day starts at the night. So the 14th, the night of the 14th, is when we do something called Bedikas Chametz. Bedikas Chametz is where we take a candle. Can the candle be a giant candle?
No.
How big can the candle be? A giant candle? That'd be a tiny candle?
Medium.
Can you use a torch? A giant torch of fire?
No.
Can you use a torch? No. We heard we can't use a torch. You can't use a torch because it's dangerous. Too big of a fire is dangerous. So we use a candle that has one wick on it. Or if you don't have a candle, or if that's going to be very good, a 1-string candle, like a Shabbos candle that you see at home. 1 wick to do the bedika, to search your house. If you don't have a candle, or if it's not safe to use a candle, you can also use a flashlight. And we go around that night on the 14th, and we search for chametz to make sure that the chametz we've already gotten out of our house is now totally going to be gone. And that way, we don't have any chametz from before the 15th. So when the 15th comes, the first day of Pesach comes, there is no chametz in our house. Okay, that concludes today. So please remember to subscribe and let other people know. Again, we'll try to do this live so that we can get everybody's comments as we're doing it. If we can't do it live, we'll make sure that we release a video, and I'll make a statement at the beginning that it's not live, or you'll see that it's not live. And then tomorrow we'll discuss some more things about. I think we'll move on to
the fire.
The fire.
Yeah.
The fire, burning chametz. Okay, beer chametz. And there's not just one type of beer chametz. We'll talk about that, and we'll go through more about the Haggadah. If you want to have your Haggadah with you tomorrow, we can look inside the Haggadah, and we'll start to talk more inside about some of the things we're going to see in there. So thank you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Again, give me your suggestions, comments, anything like that, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.